So this is Massive, the world's largest cruiserweight, and you're watching and listening to Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm out.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to a very special, randomly in the middle of the week bonus episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. You knew if this is coming, something crazy must have happened, and lo and behold, yeah. I think we just kind of threw it out there. Guys, we should probably go live to talk about it. And thankfully, AEW is not live tonight because Dynamite, of course, is Friday. I'm your host, JC. Joining me is, of course, my beautiful wife, Tina.
Oh, hi guys. Hola.
Yeah. Some shit must have happened if she's appearing. Below me on your screen, we got Tommy.
Hello all.
And having caught up on his sleep, he's back. We got Mike.
Mike, I love wrestling. Cesaro, WrestleMania, no other things instead. Love always wins. Boom.
Guys, thanks for getting together.
You've missed a few things.
Yeah. First off, it would take some crazy shit for my wife, still in the middle of a school year, to appear on this show. With the school year wrapping up, here we are. So,
Thank God.
this is a special bonus episode we're kind of doing here because, as you may or may not have heard, some shit went down in WWE this morning or today or whatever. Stadium Bernsey, I see you on the YouTube chat. Bernsey, long time no see. Yeah, exactly. I feel like we were just here yesterday. I don't know why. So whether you're watching us live on YouTube or on the Countdown City Geekcast Facebook page, or if you're catching us later, our Twitter at @CCG_WrestleCast. It's right underneath Tina and Tommy at the bottom of your screen here. We are here, of course, to talk about the roster moves that WWE has made today. Lo and behold, it feels like whenever we do a show, the very next day, some crazy shit happens. And of course,
Usually this happens. This usually happens on a week when we're off. Like usually, this kind of stuff happens when we're not doing a show that week, and then we're like, we should just do a show this week just to talk about this. But this happened like literally not even a full 24 hours after our last show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you missed our show yesterday, Tommy and I, of course, recapped Double or Nothing and talked a little about the NWA pay-per-view this week. But we're talking right now about 6 wrestlers that WWE just decided to let go almost completely out of the blue. Even to the point where they were tweeting, yeah, this was really, they blindsided them. Verbatim, that's what Aleister Black
Twitch streaming.
And Twitch streaming about it. Yeah.
I don't know if you all saw Aleister Black was on his wife's Twitch stream, basically talking about it. So
yeah, I'll need to go back and watch that VOD. I'm gonna go check it out probably after we wrap up here. But yeah, I'm in the middle of peeking over because my Avalanche play in like a few minutes. But still, this is crazy. Let's just talk about what it is. If you haven't heard already, let's go through it. WWE released 6 wrestlers today. There were some rumors that this might be happening soon, and then literally like maybe about 5 minutes after Tina sent the link in our group chat about these wrestlers possibly being released, WWE officially tweeted it out and announced it. The 6 wrestlers released were Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, Buddy Murphy, or just Murphy as they're calling it because they can't decide between one name or 2 names sometimes, Lana, Ruby Riott, and Santana Garrett. There's a lot to unpack here. But I'm just going to say, let's start with the ladies because this seems to be, at least one of them seems to be one that's a long time coming, at least in my opinion, was Lana's release. People were wondering ever since her husband got let go and he signed with AEW if this was going to be happening. If you watched her on Total Divas, she was always trying to see what they could do to get their more name recognition, WWE, always this and that. But I'll start with Tina. Welcome back to the show, babe.
Thanks.
Your thoughts on Lana finally, or maybe not so finally, getting the release from WWE?
I was probably like you. I was thinking a long time ago that she was actually going to get released before Rusev.
Mhm.
And then Rusev got released, and I was confused because she was still there. Not saying that she's a good valet, and she should have stayed a valet, to be honest with you. Um, and she has gotten a lot of better at wrestling slowly, but for her to be like the main, wrestler, it just wasn't happening. So I know from watching, Total Divas and like hearing things that she was very much adamant about re-signing with WWE, staying with WWE, trying to get Rusev to re-sign with WWE, and Rusev was just not like he was not with that. He did not want to be there anymore because he wasn't being used. And Lana was very much like, we should stick it out. And in the long run, it worked out for her. She lasted another, I don't know how, 6 months, something like that? Or was it a year?
Something like, well, it might have been close to a year. I can't remember when Miro signed with AEW, but
Yeah, so she lasted a lot
Been there
longer
a
than her
while, man.
husband,
Mhm.
but even then,
Oh,
it also boils down to
hold on.
how much the contract size. I think Roostev's contract was much bigger than Lana's was. So money wise, it saved them more money to go with Rusev than it did Lana.
And I think that plays into another one we'll talk about a little bit later too.
yeah,
That idea.
there's one that was worth 7 figures annually. That might have come into play here too.
Right.
Mike, I think it's obvious at this point Lana is going to be going to AEW. How with that women's division obviously still up and coming, do we see Lana taking in a wrestling role, or is she going to be more of a managerial valet role for her husband?
Yeah, I mean, I would kind of go with what Tina said earlier. She's clearly better in that managerial kind of valet role. I mean, obviously she put a lot of work in and got better at wrestling, but I mean, in AEW when they take it a little bit more seriously, even with WWE's Woman Revolution, how far back that slid with so many things in the past couple years.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. So I mean, I would see her mostly in a managerial where if she had to get involved at times, she could, but not where she's steadily, on a weekly basis fighting for,
I don't see
championship.
any. I'll be honest with you. I don't see anybody signing her. I see her going more into modeling or even acting because she used to act before too. So she can do other things. She can do like I said, modeling and other projects. I just don't see anybody picking her up as a wrestler. If they pick her up, it would be more of a managerial kind of thing because, in my opinion, AEW, yes, I've said it before, the storylines are just not there for the women, but the wrestling is there. And Lana would just not fit.
Yeah.
She wouldn't fit there. She wouldn't fit in Impact. So I feel like my thought process, if you're going to hire, she's a manager and that's it. If not, she's going to be doing other things now. That's my opinion.
I think if she's in AEW and yeah, like you're saying, it's not wrestling. Maybe it's by appearance. Miro himself is a part of a stable right now with Ricky Starks, right? No, I'm thinking of Brian Cage. I'm sorry.
Kip Sabian.
Yeah, Kip Sabian. Yeah,
he was, but I think he when he finally went on that tear and broke away from the video game thing, I think he injured Saban or quote unquote storyline. So I don't even think they're like a team anymore. I think he's really just solo right now with his little title run.
He's kind of on his own and everything like that. So
yeah.
Tommy, I think I don't know if there's anything you want to add to Lana, but I think the name that really surprised you out of this and was Aleister Black. I don't know if that was the most shocking one for you, but that is another name where we wondered if this was going to happen ever since his wife, Thea Trinidad, had got released from WWE. Hers, of course, is because she was making a lot of money on Twitch and OnlyFans and everything else that she was doing. Why would she let that go? And WWE was trying to pull back on that. So,
Twitch and what?
Yeah. Oh, OnlyFans. Yes. Okay. Anyway, yeah, kids, get your parents' permission. Anyway, Tommy, Aleister Black's release. Are you okay? It's surprising because he was in the middle of a storyline, but do you almost feel like there's a sense of relief that he's out of his WWE contract? He's thinking.
because
It's good. Good.
I.
All right, he's having some audio issues. Tommy, can you hear me?
I think he could hear you because he's responding, but
Tommy,
Can you hear us?
can you hear us now, Tommy? Okay, your
He
mic's...
can hear me, but he
Guys,
can't hear
yes.
you.
We can't
Oh,
hear
there
you.
we
Wait, hold on.
Okay, go ahead.
There he goes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now we can.
What the? Okay, Discord hates me. Like, legitimately does not like me.
Okay.
This is the second time this has happened to me on a different system altogether. So Discord just hates me.
Okay.
All
right.
I don't know.
You know?
I lost my train of thought anyway.
Okay.
My train of thought anyway. So skip me.
Well, here's what I'm thinking, Aleister Black. He was the one that was the most surprised by it. Obviously, he tweeted that this came completely out of left field. He had just been working about this storyline. It started with Big E. Now everyone's gonna think Big E's a curse. You start a storyline with him, you're probably getting released, right? But I almost wonder, because ever since Aleister Black got to WWE, he's not been used right. That seems to be everyone that goes from NXT to WWE.
Yeah, to say NXT he was
Yeah.
fine, but it was main roster.
So it's almost a sense of relief where it's like, okay, now he's released from that. Now we're going to see the return of Tommy End with a bigger name behind him. Where do you guys think he fits well? Obviously, I would think if he's going to go somewhere in the wrestling business, probably with his wife, potentially a package deal. Do you guys think he's better suited for AEW, Impact, or possibly even New Japan?
I mean, I would say AEW or New Japan. I think he's that big enough name. I know they've got that deal kind of working out. So I'd kind of like to see him be able to go back and forth.
I feel like he's good
between
anywhere.
both of them. Yeah, I mean that really is. I just to me, between all of those, AEW is like the biggest name right now, or at least America wise, and he's he's from Europe, so that may not be as big. But I mean, just thinking about the matches he could have in AEW with some of those top names. Same thing in New Japan. I mean, I agree. Like, he could go anywhere. I think he has the recognition to be in AEW. But
It's been pretty interesting to see him tweeting, getting on his wife's Twitch stream, talking about everything, because he's not really he doesn't speak a whole lot. He doesn't talk a whole lot. So this stuff really got to him on some level. He's been pretty chill about it for now, obviously.
Yeah.
But he's gonna have a chip on his shoulder. Tina, you say he can wrestle anywhere, but when you factor in his wife in the equation, where do you think the best fit would be for them if they're going to go to the same company?
Obviously, not New Japan.
Yeah.
So my thought process would probably be AEW or Impact. Probably AEW more. And I was jokingly telling JC, imagine him and Darby Allin as a tag team.
I mean,
that's my thought. And then Zelina or Trinidad being their managerial, valet. So
how cool
does he have to black mask Sting to get him out of the way? Or
what if that's a stable?
Ooh.
Sting, Darby Allin, and Tommy End with Trinidad as the managerial role for that.
Sting in his island of misfit
the
toys.
tiniest woman. Yeah, the tiniest woman as the valet is great.
Seriously.
I mean, I'm already thinking about the potential promos you could have with Tommy End and Darby Allin if you just have them facing each other. But putting them together as a tag team, if it works well, yeah, they could challenge the Young Bucks for the AEW tag titles. So definitely could see it.
And wait, one more thing before we move on, because we said he had just started an angle. He didn't just start an angle. So he had been off TV for forever, and people thought he was getting released. Then they start doing vignettes with him. And not just interview vignettes. If you've seen them on SmackDown, they included like this really cool animation. If you've ever seen the story of the three brothers in the Harry Potter movies, in the last movie of the 7, it was that style of animation. Looked really cool. Do this for weeks. Then, like you said, shows up on SmackDown finally out of the blue, Black Mass Big E to cost him an Intercontinental title, and you're like, okay, here's the feud that's going to get started, and then he's gone. But before the next SmackDown in 2 days.
Wow.
Like, it just makes no sense.
Steady put an interesting question here on Facebook. Rumor is that more releases are expected.
Yeah.
He says, name one male and one female you would consider a potential release by WWE.
Oh, that's hard. I honestly feel like the woman would, just because it was Ruby, I feel like they're probably gonna get rid of Liv.
Liv Morgan, okay.
Yeah.
Because where do you put Liv?
With Ava Marie coming in, yeah, she kind of falls out of place. It's almost
Badly.
Yeah.
It just sucks to say that because I would hate that, especially since.
What, do you think Eva Marie's going to be wrestling?
Yeah.
She supposedly is. I don't know.
I hope not.
Oh, see, I've seen the opposite. I've seen that they don't plan on her wrestling.
No, now
It's just
she's been saying that that's not true. She is going to be used as wrestling. So I have no idea. So everybody's
that
like,
makes it even worse.
so everybody doesn't know if she's going to be used for wrestling or not. Like no one knows for sure. So I don't know. But let it be Eva Marie. She gets released.
Yeah.
That'd be great. I can
Or
see
she
them.
comes back.
I can see them getting rid of Liv. Who haven't they used in a while?
Women-wise or overall-wise?
Women-wise.
Well,
define use, because, I mean, they
I
threw
know
a bunch of people into
what's that?
tag teams.
I forget what that girl's name is in NXT. That she gets used. She just gets used to get squashed on all the time. She's just like the jobber in NXT for the women.
There's like Aaliyah or something like that who was with Robert
Aaliyah.
Stone for a while.
I think it's Aaliyah.
They haven't used her in a while.
The only reason I don't think she would be it is because she doesn't have a big contract like their main roster. They seem to be letting the NXT people slide by. Yeah.
I mean, they could still. I mean, Buddy didn't have a big one either. That's what I'm saying.
Contract wise,
and
true.
So
they threw Lana together with Naomi. They threw Dana together with your Peach. Mandy Rose.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like one of them, like probably Dana Brooke before Mandy Rose, but I feel like that's another possibility. Not because they're not good, just because WWE doesn't know what to do with them. And
the only other person that would like shock me too is if they got rid of Carmella, just because they haven't used her in a while either.
I don't know. I don't know if they would.
She just had a title
that would be
match.
like, whoa.
That would be a shock, especially when you consider she's still there with Corey Graves. They put the work in to repackage her, and they're still putting her in like some meaningful storylines.
She had a title match with Bianca last week.
Yeah.
What would really like probably upset a lot of people is if they got rid of somebody like who hasn't been used as much, got used, and then it's not being used as much now, and it was kind of a small little thing. And is Tamina and Natalya still champions?
Yes.
Or no?
Yeah. They are still tag team champions.
They can't get rid of them, but I wouldn't doubt it if they weren't champions, they would have got rid of them. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying. I know how they're crazy.
I wouldn't put it past them doing it right now.
For me.
Yeah.
The men is a lot harder because there's a lot more of them.
Tommy, I know you're quiet over there. It's like you're still processing everything.
Dude, it's a lot.
I know. Is there a guy on the WWE roster you think could potentially just be let go out of the blue?
First, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, I don't know if they release Braun Strowman, they'll get rid of anybody.
Yeah,
that was the most surprising name. Mm-hmm. Vince literally created. He literally built him up. And he let him go.
Yeah, it's weird.
Damn the rest of them, because anybody can go now. And for Roman Reigns, he's about the only safe person I can think of.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody else. I really.
The funny part is I'm trying to think of who is under contract that hasn't been used in a while, and then I'm trying to remember who the hell is under contract in WWE because there's so many names out there.
You know who would be really bad? Would be like AJ Styles, because he hasn't been used in a while, right?
Well, he's a tag team champion.
Yeah, he's a
Oh,
current tag team.
is he still? But has it been used? Because I've barely heard anything.
Well, okay, no one watches Raw, but I've been told that he shows up on there
Okay.
usually. I hate to bring this name up because we don't really know his status with injuries or not, but Keith Lee.
Keith Lee is actually the one I was thinking about because people have been wondering.
What I was thinking.
People have been wondering
Yeah.
online for a while. There's kind of two names that are semi-attached together with that. Keith Lee and Mia Yim. People have been asking on Twitter, "Where's Mia Yim? We want Mia Yim." Where's Keith Lee? And Keith Lee has been pretty quiet about it. He can't really say anything. Obviously, with if he says anything, he's going to get in trouble.
He keeps saying too that sooner or later you'll find out. So I'm wondering if he knows he's going to get fired, and then he's going to tell everybody what's happened.
That's my thought. I mean, all these names that got let go are going to be potentially appearing on Busted Open Radio. Bubba Ray's already extended the invite to them. But I could see Keith Lee and Mia Yim being let go. Now, I will note this. The 90 days for these releases expires very beginning of September. Guess what pay-per-view is a few days later?
All or nothing?
AEW All Out. Close, All Out.
All out. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what it's called.
So All Out is going to be in Chicago Labor Day weekend. September 5th, I believe, is the date. So there's just like Slammiversary, you're going to potentially have with Impact some surprises. It's very likely we could see some surprises making their debuts at AEW at All Out. So now, Steady, Braun's release is shocking. I'll add that they added a couple of Braun-like characters since WrestleMania that didn't pay out nearly as much. Agreed.
Is he talking about
Osmosis?
Disruption?
Yeah, them too. Brandon B. Ninja, thanks for joining us. Remember when Black had a 32-match win streak on Raw and got no title match? Agreed.
Did it really get that high?
Yeah.
Hit that many squash matches,
Dang.
He says the moment Braun teamed with a 10-year-old, that's when he went downhill. Okay, first of all.
Well,
I mean, it made for a funny moment. I'll say that, but unfortunately, they had to drop the titles because he has to finish school, as he said. Let's just address the big, I would say, elephant in the room, but let's address the big 7-foot guy in the room, or the guy that's now no longer under contract, Braun Strowman. His is obviously the most surprising. He had a really good match at Mania with Shane McMahon. Whole storyline built up. You figured this was going to be the year he's going to make a good title run. He's won some championships, never a world championship, but he was brought in very highly off of Mark Henry's suggestion because he was friends with Mark Henry.
he did win a championship, right?
Yeah.
Did he win one? Okay, why am I thinking?
Yeah, the Universal title.
WrestleMania
Last year.
Was it last WrestleMania?
Yeah,
okay,
right.
that's all
That's
about
right.
this
14
whole
years.
damn year. It's been crazy. I
You're not wrong.
apologize, Braun. But in 2019, he signed a 5-year contract that pays him upwards to $1 million a year, plus however much he's making on merchandise, you assume. So this whole budget thing, even though they're profiteering, a lot of the chatter, and Tina shared a link about this, and I've been looking up, a lot of people are speculating, is WWE going up for sale? There's a lot of things that are happening where they're starting to appear like, okay, are they getting ready to sell the company to somebody? Dutch Mantel, about a year ago in a podcast interview or radio interview, said he thought they were trying to somehow work out a deal where they're acquired by Disney, because the mouse is buying everything nowadays, right? So
For real.
Look,
If I can watch pay-per-views on Disney Plus, then maybe I'll be okay with it.
well, we're stuck with the Peacock deal.
No,
Well,
because then they're gonna make us. They're gonna charge us for every
premium
pay-per-view,
access,
probably.
right? You know,
It's
so
premium access.
yeah.
We have to be charged for every pay per view. Not happening.
Good point. Well, they're not charging for Loki, so
I'm
that's cool.
spoiled now.
Okay.
I'm spoiled now.
Before we
I don't buy
true.
pay per views anymore.
Before we get into that, let's just talk about Braun Strowman here in the first place. Tommy, you mentioned it. This was a character that they built up, that they got started. I mean, he was one of the Rosebuds for so long before he showed up as part of the Wyatt family. You remember that? Do y'all think Strowman continues with the wrestling career after this? Or does he go into acting?
know if he'd do well in acting. Is that mean to say? But
he's a pretty entertaining guy.
I mean,
Yeah,
if
he
Hogan
is.
can make movies,
Yeah.
the thing is, I don't know how fast he could find jobs being 7 foot tall. I mean, I'm sure he could do a lot of action movies for a while.
Yeah.
But I think honestly, as soon as he got let go, I'm pretty sure AEW, New Japan, somebody called him and was like, "Hey, bro, 90 days, come here."
ooh,
I'm
Tommy,
pretty
can you
sure.
imagine a Gaijin monster out of New Japan for Strowman? That would be, yeah.
Imagine him against Lance Archer.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'd be good. Tommy
Yeah.
would know what to cheer for. He's thinking about it. So.
Tommy would know. Oh, Tommy would know.
All right, a couple things here. Steady said Adam Scher, which is of course is Braun Strowman's real name, has stated in a past interview that he would retire when he's done with WWE. Do you think this is the end of his career?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so, only because of the way this time with WWE ended. Now,
He
Michelle
wasn't ready for this.
is joining us on Facebook. My cousin Michelle. Hey, Michelle.
Hi.
Has said, watching AEW takes me back to my childhood. She says, no on the sale of WWE. I think he's saving money to buy another wrestling promotion. Interesting.
Hope
I hope not either.
Who would he buy? Impact or Ring of Honor?
The
Who would he
latest
buy?
is the latest talks have been MLW, that they were negotiating with MLW on something, but I don't think MLW is big enough for them to make a big
I
amount
don't
of
think
budget
so.
cuts to buy it.
No.
You know,
Plus, like, I know we've talked about this before, but they're making more money than ever between the Peacock deal, the Fox deal, the Saudi Arabia shows. They saved so much money not having to go out on the road this past year. Saved a lot of
Right.
money from all the touring and all that, and that's why, like, the amount of releases over the last, basically since the pandemic started is just, it's ridiculous. They kept saying, "Oh, they're going to lose so much money at the beginning," but the truth is they weren't.
no, they really
They're
weren't.
still making hand over fist.
Like they could have stopped using pyro. I'm sure that would have helped. They did that for a little while, right?
That was so weird. I was like, why? Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do pyro with no people here.
Now, Tommy, I know you want to say something. If you need to, I know we're having mic issues with you. I think what we'll try doing is if you want to speak, just let us know. We'll all mute our mics and
We'll
see if that
sign
helps
for
out.
you.
Yeah, we'll see if that comes out.
We'll
So just,
sign for you. I don't know how to sign, but we'll sign.
I'm good. I will unleash on my channel later
Oh, man.
because I'm going to cuss, and I'm going to put a warning out before I do it. I'm going to cuss, and I need to cuss.
so let everybody know
Well,
Tommy is a man
may-
of God. So for him to cuss like that means a lot. So
So you're gonna just do this, Tommy, and then we'll translate like, "Oh, he's pissed. He is pissed."
Yeah, pretty
much.
I'll do that.
All right.
Just hit shift and all the numbers on the top row of your keyboard. That's pretty much what he's saying. All those
Yeah.
symbols up there.
Sounds like it. Yeah, that works out. All right. The other two releases, of course, were Murphy and Santana Garrett. I think Santana Garrett was an NXT talent, right? Yeah. So if she's still under if she was still under developmental deal, she's not held to a 90-day no compete. She could go wherever she wants at this point. Yeah.
There were rumors that they were going to bring her up, but she never officially did. I don't know how that works, I'd be really interested to kind of see, because I know you've said that the NXT talent have a slightly different contract until they get up to the main roster. Sometimes there have been people who said they were bringing them up and they're like backstage, but they never actually debut. So that's what I've heard. Mm-hmm. That there were rumors she was supposed to show up on SmackDown eventually, but obviously never did. So,
as I understand it from the Deonna Purrazzo scenario, if they're still assigned to a developmental deal, when they're let go of that, there's no compete clause. They can literally the next day walk into another promotion for a competitor and compete, which is what Deonna Purrazzo did. Now, Santana Garrett, it depends if she signed on the dotted line for a main roster contract. If she did that, they're going to have to pay her for 90 days, and then she can't do anything. Tina, you were going to say something? Go right ahead.
I mean, I could see her going to Impact real fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also, what we were talking about earlier, like picking someone. I remember someone putting some. I don't remember who posted it or whatever, but they were like, "Who do you think else they will get rid of?" And a lot of people were putting Ricochet in there because they've been misusing him a lot. And I'm like, I wouldn't doubt it.
That would be better for his career if it is Ricochet.
Ali.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ali. I was just gonna say Ali.
Ali.
Yeah.
Which, it's almost like that's another 3-man band
All of
thing.
them go form a faction somewhere else.
Yeah, ever since Aleister Black's release, there's some people have been posting the picture of Aleister Black, Ali, and Ricochet posting them sitting down together in the ring. It almost reminds me of the 3-man band thing when Drew McIntyre and what's his face? Gosh.
Oh my God, what's his name?
Heath Slater and Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal.
When Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal were let go and Heath Slater was released, everyone was memeing the day the music died when the other two were let go. I thought
That was my
like,
birthday, by the
So
way.
waiting for him to come back
Horrible.
all ripped,
Yeah.
like the other two. That's who they could get. They could release Jinder Mahal.
That's
And he
true.
just came back through, so there you go.
That's possible. Yeah. Brandon.
They want that Indian market.
Yeah, but they haven't really been able to travel anywhere, so who knows? You know.
Yeah.
B Ninja, Santana was called up a year ago but never used. Same with Vanessa Bourne. Okay.
Yeah.
So it really just depends. While they were never used, it really just depends on the language of the
Was
contract.
Buddy technically a main
Yes.
roster?
He was called up because
he-
we did see
He
him on.
never got used.
I think he was part of the cruiserweights.
He
So
was part of main event, I think.
yeah,
Was
he
it?
he was involved.
Buddy Murphy was on SmackDown with that whole Mysterio. He was Seth's
Oh, that was just
That's
for a
right.
little while, though.
disciple.
No?
But that's main roster.
But he was main roster.
Oh, I
I mean,
know.
he was on main roster when they were using the cruiserweights on SmackDown. Obviously, the cruiserweights are now NXT, but he's still technically a
I
main
know
roster
he was on main
contract.
event a lot.
Yeah.
So
So so many
Yeah.
to this to lay out there. So
We also
Sorry
didn't.
about
You said the last two, but we totally didn't talk about the most popular one. Probably popular in the locker room.
is that Ruby Riott?
Yeah.
Yes, Ruby Riott. One that is very much surprising me the most. Obviously, when we see her again, she'll probably be back to her pre WWE name of Heidi Lovelace. Look, I'm just going to say it. For Santana Garrett and Ruby Riott, the best options for them, if they're really wanting to go somewhere where women's wrestling is taken seriously, you would go Impact or AEW in that order. Impact right now arguably has a better women's division right now. If you want to be the name to bring in to try and take down Deonna Purrazzo, how great an impact, so to speak, would you make there? AEW's women's division is still on the up and up. It took a lot of leaps over the last year with Hikaru Shida being champion and with Dr. Britt Baker winning the title. That's elevating it a little bit more. And on some level as well, Thunder Rosa is with NWA. She's kind of making appearances there. It's starting to build up a little bit more. So,
Not to get off topic, but she has an AEW shirt, so I really want to know how her contract, Thunder Rosa, is working out. She has a shirt being sold on AEW shop, so I'm really interested how
I heard
that.
that
know.
she was. Well, I heard that she was calling out Britt Baker. So
yeah.
Well, I'm sure because they've had a feud going, so
Yeah.
that'll be fun.
She's tag teaming with Melina this weekend on the NWA show.
Right.
Yeah. So that's going to be good in and of itself. But yeah, it sounds like it's kind of back and forth where she does AEW and NWA, because NWA it seems like it's more sporadic now and then. Really,
Yeah.
it's nothing like consistent right now. So, Chris Moore, this is a dark day. It's up there and it may not be over yet, unfortunately.
no, it's crazy.
Brandon B. Ninja, imagine Ruby goes to AEW and then comes out as the Joker in the Casino Battle Royal at All Out. You know?
Maybe.
Maybe if they do a women's Casino Battle Royale at All Out. Because I don't think they've done a women's Battle Royale yet, have you?
Not that I can think of off the top of my
they
head.
could also just make it co-ed at some point. I'm just saying.
Yeah, AEW, I would definitely see being more willing to do that
Mm-hmm.
than WWE.
Michelle asks, have you been to her wrestling promotion in San Antonio? I assume you mean Thunder Rosa. And yeah, I know Tommy for sure has been
Tommy
out there
has a
too.
bunch.
Yeah, Mission Pro, mostly out of Buda. Trying to get out there myself. Obviously, when things are getting better, I would love to get out there, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. And I believe they have a big tournament coming up for a number one contender for their top title coming up right now. So,
So yes. No.
now, there is actually one other option for the women here that I think is kind of a sleeper option here, and that's Ring of Honor. Obviously, Ring of Honor right now there's no women's champion. They were supposed to crown a new Women of Honor champion, Ring of Honor Women's champion. And obviously with the pandemic, that got put on hold. Right now, they're building up for a big tournament to crown a champion. Laredo native Roxy was actually the first to qualify for that tournament. So it's really interesting.
Laredo!
Tina's excited now. So I wouldn't doubt, even if Ruby Riott, Santana Garrett, and possibly Lana appear for Impact or AEW, I don't think that would single them out or rule them out of possibly being in the Ring of Honor tournament to crown the first Ring of Honor Women's Champion as well. So,
like another one, I can see Santana Garrett being in that too.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, it would be a good spot. So, from a women's standpoint, though, New Japan just doesn't jump out at me. They don't have a consistent women's division. They rely really on Stardom to hold that down for them in the Japanese market. So.
Yeah.
Tommy, go right ahead. We'll mute. All right.
Okay, he's agreeing with you.
Okay. I can't hear him.
He cannot hear you. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Now or what?
Go for it.
Yeah. Yes.
Because mine's really delayed, apparently. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was just gonna say they could. Ruby Riott and Santana Garrett especially can go to Stardom because they have a lot of history there. I was double checking just now, and they were there a lot in like 2015 for Ruby Riott, and Santana Garrett was there a lot in. They're both there a lot. So if they want to go to Japan, Stardom is still there, so they have that option.
Okay. Well,
I think that option is a little harder right now because I know Japan has. I know that option is a little harder right now because I know in Japan they're having a kind of cases going back up over there, and that's another issue with the Olympics coming up, with the COVID cases going back up. So it'd be hard for them to go to Japan right now, for that, I believe. Maybe later on, hopefully when things get better, but right now I don't think you will see a lot of people from the United States going over there.
Yeah, but hopefully if they get into like Impact or AEW, even ROH, they usually have the ability to do that once it opens up. So
Right.
yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
all right. Michelle, women in tag team in AEW is not there. Not yet. They still need to build up that
No.
division. Obviously, we have that in Impact, which is where we think the we checked the source for Iconics.
The recognizables.
The recognizables are potentially going to go there and challenge Fire and Flavor at Slammiversary.
Synonyms.
Talking about the recognizables, Casey Lee, right?
Yes,
Cassie Lee.
Cassie Lee. Yeah.
Cassie Lee said, I didn't hear it yet, but I heard that she basically was talking about her last match and how she felt kind of eerie about it when she was wrestling Asuka. First, she found out that she made that great promo, and then they gave her the match with Asuka. Well, she found out that she only got the match because somebody got COVID, first of all. And then second of all, it was just like this eerie feeling during the whole match, and even after the match, when they were clapping backstage, that it just felt like she just knew something was up after the match. And that was actually her last match in WWE. And I was like, how crazy to have that bad feeling, like something's not right. I mean, it's great. It was a great match. Had a lot of fun. But ultimately, I was like, something's off. And she was right.
Sometimes you just know, right? I will point out that Cassie and I forget the real names now.
Jessica
McKay.
Yeah, have a new podcast that Tina turned me on to, by the way, while we were traveling to the beach. Offered Chops.
Just hilarious.
Just the two of them. Really good. Definitely the heavy Australian accents, too.
What does Jessica say all the time during the thing?
Bub's your uncle.
Bub's your uncle.
Bub's your uncle.
Bub's your uncle.
Go check that podcast out, Offered Chops. It's really hilarious. And
so if you've listened to both of them too, which seems like I'll have, they also mentioned that they're also looking, not that they're not going to wrestle anymore, but they're looking at all kinds of opportunities to expand their horizons and see what else. Yeah, so be interesting to see kind of if they get involved in some other things.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. They have a fan base, both of them.
Yeah.
So there's so many things that they could do and work in the industry. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the Bella twins were not the greatest wrestlers sometimes, in our opinions,
Sometimes.
but they make tons of money,
Yeah.
making wine and doing their Bella, they have Bella clothing line. They're just kind of partnership with some baby stroller company, so they're doing that now. I mean,
does it
they
like
have
fall apart and go Bremo?
no. It's apparently the high quality stuff, and it's on. They still have Total Bellas that's going to come out probably another season. I mean, they make bank not being wrestlers.
Yeah, they really do. They really do.
Yeah, they've known how to market themselves, So
Yeah.
But Cassie and Jessica are just, to me, so much more actually entertaining.
Oh yeah,
Like,
of course. I mean,
I feel like the Bellas are in that.
too.
I feel like the Bellas are more in that Kardashian, like,
Yeah.
you just
Definitely.
have to watch their lives all the time. But like those two, like listening to their podcast, it just, I mean, cracks me up. Like, yeah, I'd really like to see
another
them.
thing the Bella twins have. They have a podcast too.
Yeah, it's probably not as entertaining as Off the
We know
Top,
you want to
so.
see it,
No,
Mike. We know
definitely
you
not.
want to hear it.
Not in the least.
All right.
Well, I know one of them you might want to hear because it's with Daniel Bryan. But yeah,
Okay. Well,
Or Bryan Danielson. Excuse me.
we semi-addressed this already. WWE potentially being up for sale. A lot of people that are experts in seeing when companies make certain moves that they potentially could be up for sale. The stock price of WWE has risen just a little bit because some people might seem to think that they could be up for sale, and that might put them up for, hey, make a little money off of that. For what it's worth, by the most recent estimates as of towards like the middle of last year, WWE was worth about $5.7 billion. So, if they are up for sale, where does it make sense? It doesn't sound like they would want to sell to a competitor.
The Khan fan.
I was going to say, Tony Khan's dad probably has the money to buy WWE if he wanted to. He does own an NFL franchise.
Yep.
But I think they're going to try, and if they are being put up for sale, and hear me out here, I think this is what make the most sense, it would be NBC Universal that buys them up. They already have the deal with Peacock. USA is under the NBC umbrella, and NBC just lost the rights to the NHL for as far as broadcasting rights. They starting next season, they're not going to be able to broadcast any games because those are going to ESPN and TNT, Warner Media. So, with them already being on the 5-year deal for Peacock in the United States, do you think it's a very good possibility, if in fact WWE is up for sale, and even CM Punk tweeted out a GIF of the trading spaces scene at the stock market? By the way,
Trading places.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of the HGTV show.
It was like the
Come
show
on,
where
don't
they.
Don't say the wrong.
I'm sorry. Anyway, was NBC a good landing spot for them? Does that make the most sense, or where do you guys think?
It makes sense to me. Everything you said, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
The only reason I don't like it is that probably keeps Vince in charge.
Yeah,
That's what he wants, though. Yeah,
I know, but if they're gonna sell
guys,
it, man, let's get some
how
new
much-
ideas in there.
yeah.
So how much stock should we buy
I don't know. I'm trying to decide between that and AMC.
before it gets sold?
I'm trying to
I'm stuck in cryptocurrency, so
Well,
Buy, and then we sell.
I'm trying to go between that and AMC because people are flooding AMC like they did GameStop not too long ago. So that yeah. So.
Hey, can you flood Draft House so I can get Westlake's back? Just throwing that out there.
That's so sad that closed.
R.I.P. R.I.P. Yeah.
It's so close to our house too. Not anymore.
Did you guys ever think in your lifetime we would be potentially discussing WWE being for sale?
I mean, eventually,
No.
but I didn't think it was going to happen until we were like old, like in our 60s or 70s.
It just makes me think of the CM Punk promo, like kind of kayfabe, but kind of not. You know, you think the company's going to get better when he passes away, but no, it's going to go to his idiot kids, just Stephanie and Triple H and
his idiot daughter and doofus son-in-law is the way he quoted it in that
there you
promo.
go. There you go. Yes.
Yeah.
So.
And I know a lot of people have more faith in Triple H because of what he does with NXT, but I'm kind of at a point now where I really want some shakeup. Like I get it, they're a business, and obviously they're trying to make as much money as possible.
Well, they're
But as
making
a wrestling fan, they've just like misused so much talent, and they don't even put effort in. Like they don't, as the company, the wrestlers do. The wrestlers put as much as they can in, but they give them crap, and it's like they don't even care because they've got these deals, and they're kind of just their own monster that just continually feeds itself, and it never really goes out. And I mean, I guess I'm a hypocrite because I'll keep watching. I've been watching SmackDown. I don't watch Raw that often. But now even Cesaro's off injured, so Bailey's the only thing keeping me really on SmackDown.
They would lose a fan in Mike if they let Cesaro go completely random, especially when they just
not only, but yes, but also we talked about this before the story of his contract re-signing. I'd kind of be okay with it too, because that gives him a chance to go to New Japan, to AEW, to Impact,
anywhere
where I think he would be treated a lot better.
Yeah.
True.
And wouldn't take 10, 12 years to get even a title shot. So
That's true.
I mean, two sides of a coin. So
is Chris Hero still signed?
Oh no, he's indie.
He's indie. Yeah, he got released.
No, I'm just wondering.
Okay.
Can
He
we
got
reunion?
released. Oh man.
Yeah, reunite the Kings of Wrestling.
Kings of Wrestling.
That's
Would be great.
Oh God, if they showed up to fight the I was about to say the NWO. Jesus Christ, the Bullet Club.
Oh.
That you just mentioned it, and that does remind me. I need to actually find the tweet. It was Tama Tonga. Man,
yeah.
the man knows how to throw shade. Let me tell you. Let me pull it up here. Tonga.
Okay, JC, while you're looking at it, you remember on April 15th, and we made the joke about what April 15th had become because it was 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
So I got another bad joke, and I don't mean to make fun of anyone getting fired, but does that make today Axe Day Backlash?
I immediately looked at Tommy's reaction when you said that. That's hilarious.
And it's even better because it's slightly delayed.
Yes, I know. Michelle, remember that wrestling has no unions. That's why Tony Khan lets his wrestlers do on the side. Agreed. Wrestling does need unions. It's something fight that's been long coming for decades. Tony Khan, at the very least, does employ his wrestlers as full-time employees and allows them to do that business, especially in the pandemic, which they so fervently made fun of. Tama Tonga, for his thing, he tweeted, "Damn, thanks to New Japan for not dumping us during the pandemic or even after. Hashtag Gaijin grateful." I think a lot of people wrestling for other companies have been grateful for that too. Especially the ones that we really worried about may not have survived all this. They hung in there, they had faith, they made it work. And here's AEW, the first promotion back with a full house of fans. So he has another video where he's going to go live on Twitch to address the rumors of the New Japan and WWE working relationship. I'm not going to play it because I don't know how much cussing is in that. And I just let you guys find that on your own on his Twitter account.
Whoa.
So, yeah. Before we sign off here, I know this is going to be a quick episode. It turned to almost an hour, but just fine. This is how it goes when it's the four of us. It's great to have the four of us together. Of the 6 releases, I just want you to tell me which one shocked you the most. Where do you think they're going? So, Tina, we'll start with you.
Braun Strowman and Ruby Riott. I think Braun Strowman is going to end up in AEW, and I think Ruby's going to end up, or Heidi Lovelace is going to end up in Impact.
Okay, Mike.
Yeah, I'm almost exactly what she said. Definitely Braun because he was the highest profile, and he had championship matches, and he just fought Shane McMahon. I know we talked
So
about
much
it may have been
misuse.
because of his contract, because it was so big. But him, and then and the women. I mean, like you said, we were kind of expecting Lana a long time ago, and it's almost like they were quote unquote punishing her.
Yeah.
By making her stay and go through tables and stuff. But yeah, Ruby Riott, like the amount of people from the locker room, and especially the women, because it seemed like the WWE women are a pretty close-knit bunch that just tweeted, we love you, we miss you, it's heartbreaking. Whoever gets you, live. Whoever gets you wins. So, I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't want someone like that, even if you're not using them prominently. I couldn't imagine she had a huge contract.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need those glue people in the locker room that keep your locker room together and united. It's not always about, being the superstar, if you will, the top player. You need those people to kind of keep the locker room in a good place.
And keep the talent happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, if you're watching, and just same question to you guys, live chat, let us know which one shocked you the most or where you think they're headed. Tommy, let's give this a shot. Which one shocked you the most, and where do you think they're going? Don't know if it's working. Can't hear you. There we go. Go for it.
All right.
There you go.
I'm good.
No, go. It's
we
working.
can hear you.
Now you okay? I'm not sure. On and Alistair shocked me. The men. Heidi for the women. Where they go, oh, man, I don't know. I'm blown away by all this. I still don't know where they're going. So at least they got options now. I guess that's a good thing. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think with Tommy, he needs some time, and he's gonna put this a lot on his own YouTube channel and break it down. I will try and work with you this weekend so we can get these audio issues fixed up on your iPad, PC, whatever it is that you're using. We can get this ready by next week. So, as for me, Braun Strowman is the most shocking one of them. He's the biggest star. He's the homegrown guy. Where he ends up, I think AEW, if he stays in wrestling, is the perfect fit, especially with Mark Henry just joining that company. Both in a coach and mentor role. Mark Henry was instrumental in getting Braun Strowman into wrestling, into WWE. And if he decides to continue wrestling, I think he goes to AEW. I think that's a good fit. They need more of, I know they have Paul White over there. Obviously, he's not wrestling, but to have another big body there, a recognizable name, and he's got the charisma to make it work, I think the fans would really enjoy that. On the women's side, Ruby Riott was the shock, but I think she fits in well in... God, this is tough. It's either Impact or AEW. She fits in well both there, but I almost want to say AEW because I feel like she might take on a challenge of helping build that division up, And I think there's enough talent share going on with AEW or Impact where they can kind of work together on that, and she could potentially be one way or another wrestling people with both companies. So that's kind of where I'm going. Yeah. Michelle, don't care. They will go where they get paid. Yeah. Where they will be paid, obviously.
Exactly.
Yeah, go where the money is. Obviously, they won't be making the same. I mean, Strowman's not going to be making $1 million a year wherever he's going. So that's why I think acting could potentially be a career for him. So,
well, AEW, well, I don't know what those contracts are like.
Yeah.
Even as acting, I don't know if he'll get paid that much to begin with.
Not to start, but I think if he gets a few roles, even if he's working with AEW or just in movies in general, he's got a great charisma for a big guy. He really does.
Hey, there's Fast and Furious 11 and 12 to be made, so
true.
We just got John Cena. We just got John Cena in this latest one, so maybe he's their long lost country cousin. Who knows? It's all about family.
Jerry, Strowman is overrated. They don't need him in AEW. Strowman needs to work the Indies to become a credible threat again. He needs to reinvent himself. Okay,
I can see him reinventing himself.
By the way, about the Fast and Furious reference, if Strowman fits into a Nissan Skyline, I'll be impressed. But that's just me. Go ahead. Yeah.
I doubt that, but yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Strowman, I feel like he's just... I mean, you're right. I get he can be a better wrestler, but he's just an attraction, which,
Yeah.
I think you can bring him into almost any place to get that recognition and to put over, some other guys or some local ones to make them look good, beating up the big, not megastar, but, the guy who was pretty big for a while there on a big stage.
Yep. All right.
I just think he was being misused a lot, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he definitely
And
was.
that's why
Definitely.
he didn't win a lot. And he probably could have, should have, but it's right.
All right. Well, time will tell if more releases are to come from WWE. A lot of people seem to think that there are. We'll see how this whole sailing rumors go into how this is going to work. And even if they do negotiate a sale, it's going to take at least a year for it to go into effect with regulators and all that other fun stuff that the red tape that they have to run through.
Release Eva Marie.
Please. Right. I think this is just the beginning of something, but it'll be interesting to note when their 90 days are up, all eyes are going to be on AEW All Out to see what, if any, talents are going to be showing up there at that pay-per-view. Yeah. Either making appearances, part of a battle royal, or being a surprise opponent or partner or something like that. We'll see. So
that starts the AEW invasion angle, just like the Outsiders.
Oh gosh.
Two Shots Podcast, I believe that's Joe, says lots of good people were released at WWE today, and I fully expect to see them on AEW shortly. All right. Cool.
Let's see.
We'll see. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. If you're live chatting live with us, we do appreciate this. If you are watching this after the fact, you can always tweet at us at @CCG_WrestleCast. Let us know your thoughts on the releases, where you think they're going to go, who you think will be next on the chopping block. Yeah, right below you, Tina. Right below you. It's right below you. So, yeah. Yeah, right there. Perfect.
Oh.
Perfect.
Okay, yes. Sure.
Okay. Thanks, everyone, for joining us for this kind of impromptu emergency, if you will, live broadcast. We are going to be back next week at the usual Tuesday time to preview Impact Against All Odds and NXT TakeOver in your house.
Unless anything else crazy happens.
Unless anything else crazy happens. So we might be keeping the airwaves busy here. What's up, Tina?
Yeah, unless someone... If something crazy happens every single day, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Like, are you freaking kidding me?
Guys, we're just going to live stream 24/7.
Right? Our live reaction as the news brief comes in.
Yeah,
right.
Very much so. I'll be sitting here trying to do my regular job and then just jumping over here trying to stream my reaction as I retweet it, right? So
be quiet, kids. Oh.
Yeah.
It would just be us going, what the?
Yeah, pretty much. So
what the what? What?
Like, we're just signing out with that principal. Like, excuse me. Oh my God, did you just see?
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that.
All right. Well, we do appreciate everybody joining us. We're going to sign off for now, and barring any crazy news, we'll see you guys next week. So, down here, we got Tommy. Whenever he hears this. Thanks, guys. There he goes. All right. We got Mike.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
My beautiful wife, Tina.
Adios. Stay safe, guys.
And I'm JC. And as always, heels and baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real. People are fake. See you next time.